Hello, tribe. I feel like I haven't been on a Facebook Live on here on my regular page for a while. I missed y'all. All right, let me share this really quick. Oh, that's not it. Hey. I can't remember how to share it from my phone. That's funny. Let me share this really quick. I feel like the message for today is important for somebody because it just keeps coming up, and I keep reading like posts and comments about the subject right here about like if you're an entrepreneur or if you've come into this field or if you're a coach and not getting results in your first year in your business. And I feel like this is quite possibly might be the most unpopular post that I've ever done, or most unpopular live that I've ever done. And it's also the most honest and the most truthful. And for the people that are willing to just like exhale for a second and listen and be in this can bring you to a whole nother level in your freaking life. And sometimes we just need to tell ourselves the truth. And I feel like I've been saying a lot of that lately. Like, tell yourself the whole story, tell yourself the truth, like, let's tell the truth, let's have a tell the truth conversation. And so basically that is what this is about right here, right now. So what I've been seeing and hearing out there is like, you know, don't judge yourself, you know, be kind to yourself. Just because you see other coaches or other entrepreneurs out there crushing it, don't beat yourself up because you're not crushing it. And I have to say, right, I have to say, yes, agree, John. I love the message. I mean, I couldn't agree with the message more when it comes to like this journey. The journey is the journey, and it's going to take what it's going to take, and it is what it is. And the whole point was you becoming the person it took to have the life that you dream of. It was never about you just getting the result or getting to the goal, because the second we get a goal, all we do is set another goal. It was never about the goal. It was always about becoming the person. So on that aspect of it, I completely agree. But here's where the mischief and mayhem is. Okay? When I'm seeing these posts, it's a lot of believing that, like, because I was a coach who made $380K my very first year as a coach, right? And now I understand that that's not the average, that that's not typical, that most people when they're starting out in their coaching business or in their entrepreneur business, their oil business, whatever it is, any kind of downline business, product-based business, life coaching, health coaching, it's all business coaching, it's all the same, right? So I understand that while a lot of people that come into this field maybe don't make $380K their first year, I did. And because I have, I feel like I have a position, stance, awareness, wisdom that other people who haven't accomplished that might not have. So although this might be against the grain of what is being popularly said out there, I believe that you would be wise to listen, because the way I think about it has gotten me the result that other people are looking to create. Does this make sense? Hey, Amy. Right. So here is what I have to say about this. If you are not getting the result, it's because you are not doing the things that get the results. It's not any more complicated than that. And so a lot of people will feel like, well, I did everything, Mandy, and I'm still not getting the clients. And you and I both know that that's a load of bullshit. You're not doing everything, right? You might be doing everything that's comfortable. You might be doing everything that looks good to other people. You might be doing everything that's familiar, but you're not doing everything, because if you were, you would be getting the result. See what I'm saying? So when I first started my coaching business, most of the time when I ask people, okay, cool, if you're not getting a result, if you're not hitting your 6 figures your first year, multiple 6 figures your first year, whatever that vision is for you, you have your vision, you know what numbers, like that 10K month, the 50K month, wherever you're at, 100K months, wherever you're at in the journey, right? So if you're not hitting that, the very first question is like, what do you already know that you could be doing consistently that would change everything? And why aren't you doing that? What are you doing instead? What is the story? What is the fear that is creeping up that you think is going to happen? Or what is the thing that you have that you don't want them to take away, like your leisure time or whatever the story is that you made up, right? Sorry, it's honestly here in Florida, the landscaping never ends. It's 24/7 landscaping. It's really amazing. I can't do a live without landscaping, so I've just learned to just do it anyway. Okay, so that first year when I started doing coaching, I did webinars. I did live talks at the library. I did talks where only two 70-year-old women showed up. I did meetup groups. I did Facebook Lives. I went to some networking meetings, which I hated, but I went to them just to see, like, who do I network with? And what I learned real fast was like, oh, you can make a lot more money a lot faster online. So even the network meetings, even though they didn't turn out to be something I wanted to do, I went to them to experience them, to do them, right? So I created, I reached out to people one-on-ones. I did tons and tons of self-work. And then whenever something came up, sorry, that's probably really loud. See if he goes away in a second. So whenever I did those things, oh, he's gonna go away. I was looking at his reflection. Sorry if that's really loud. So as I went to go do those things, what would happen is sometimes I couldn't get myself to do them, and that is where the work is. So it's like, this is the analogy that I've heard and that I use. It's like weight loss. I put it on my thing for a while, and I didn't use it for weight loss, but I did use it for my business, even though it was meant for weight loss. And it basically said, either you showed up this week in a way where you know when you get on the scale, I lost weight. I'm not getting on the scale being like, I'm not sure if I lost weight. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. You know you did, because you know exactly what you ate and you paid attention and you showed up the way you needed to make it happen. Or you get on the scale and you're like, I'm not really sure. I don't know. Maybe I lost weight, maybe I didn't. I'm hoping I did. I'm hoping I did. I'm hoping I did. And you're peaking down because you know how you showed up leaves you questioning whether you got the result or not. And that's what we're really looking to apply in our business, right? Like, are you showing up in a way where you're wondering? Are you showing up in a way where you're wondering if you're going to get the result? You're wondering if you're going to hit the numbers. You're wondering if you're going to book clients. You're wondering if you're going to be successful. You're wondering if you're going to hit that multi-six. Or are you showing up in a way where you know, there's no doubt. And oftentimes clients will come to me and they'll say, but Mandy, how do I know this is going to work? How do I know this is going to work? And that tells me you're not showing up in a way that you know, of course, it's going to work. You're still playing small. You're still the girl who's stepping on the scale like, I hope I lost weight because you ate that cheesecake, or you didn't work out that day, or whatever your thing is. Does this make sense to you? Do you hear what I'm saying? There's a whole nother level of showing up in your business where you know that you're going to get the result. And maybe that's not the popular thing to say, but I love you enough to say it anyway. There's a way where you can show up in life where you know, of course, you're going to get the results. Of course, like, just like I know my kids are safe because I walk them myself to the bus and I make sure they get on the bus. So I know they're not going to get kidnapped between here and the bus stop because I'm with them, right? Or I could sit home and be like, I hope they're safe when they get to the bus. Like, that's a silly example, but it's a very obvious one. So like, why aren't we applying these same principles to our business, to building success, to being able to reach a bigger audience and being able to teach our message to more people and heal more lives? Do you know what I'm saying? Tell me if you know what I'm saying. Amy, of course, you're so right. So, okay. So I know it's a really beautiful message that a lot of people are sharing about how don't judge yourself for where you're at, and I couldn't agree with that more. It's not about judging yourself where you're at. That's just more self-absorbedness, and it's going to lower your energy, and you're not going to show up big. You can't negative yourself into positive. So if you're wanting to show up big and brave, you can't beat yourself up in order to get there. Bye, thank you. You can't beat yourself up in order to get there. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, you can only love and embrace where you're at in order to get there. However, can we just look at the mischief in between where you're at and where you want to be, right? Like, there's mischief in here, and there's specific work that needs to be done for you to get the result that you're looking to get right now. Do you see what I'm saying? So like, if we're just being like, oh, I'm just gonna accept where I'm at and I'm just gonna tell myself this stupid story that like, oh, well, Mandy's a fluke, or like it's just for some special people or real people, like there's nothing special about me, let me just promise you this, okay? I'm just as special as you are. And I was just the regular girl making $400 a week as a nanny, and I was drinking way too much. I had 2 baby daddies. I had a history of trauma and drama, and I made $380K my first year as a coach. So if I can do it, that means you can do it. End of story, period. And if you want to start buying and believing into the bullshit that it's only for some rare people and it's not for you and that you can't have that, you can if you want to, and then that's going to be true for you. Or you can start looking at it like, okay, like there's the scale analogy I gave you, but what about the analogy of like, okay, if you needed to get 10 new clients or hit your 20K first month by the end of the month, and that's what you needed to do in order to save the life of your dad, and like it would buy the medicine and then your dad's life would be saved, would you show up a little bit differently than how you've been showing up? Of course you would. So let's stop pretending that I'm doing everything. You're not doing everything, okay? And there's no judgment. You get to just chuckle and look at it and be like, okay, interesting. I notice how I'm showing up here. And I notice I am telling myself a story that like, oh, those people are different, or that's not for me, or like, I'm just gonna be content with the fact that I haven't crushed life in my business. Why? Don't be content with that. Like, love yourself where you're at and enjoy the shit out of the journey, but let's not be content with that. You deserve to have the results that you're looking to have, and there's a way to do it. Now he's on machine driving around. So loud, I'm so sorry. Oh, the cleaner's left though. Okay, so here's the deal. Wealthy Coach is open for enrollment right now, and this is the work that we're doing. And here, my team is still offering a call for you guys, and it's a power call. And what you're gonna get in this call is, I wish I knew how loud that was for you guys with these earbuds. What you're gonna get in the call is you're gonna understand exactly what's going on in the space in between. And now you may choose to show up and do the work with us, or you may not, and that's up to you, right? That's not the point of the call. The point of the call is for you to be really clear what's the bullshit stories. What's the bullshit stories and mischief and mayhem that you've been telling yourself in the space in between? Do you see what I'm saying? So it's mandyperry.com. I don't know if my team's on the feed or not, so I'm gonna drop it in for you guys. And my husband Craig does the calls, and our only intention on this call, like, our clients get epic results because we don't play any stupid games, right? Like, we literally call a spade and we tell the truth, and we show up for this, right? So in this call, the whole point is for you to get really clear, what is the work gonna look like for you? What is the mischief going on? What are the silly stories you're telling yourself? What is the truth? Can we just look at that for a second? Can we just look at what the truth is? Can we be really honest about what the truth is? And can we get really clear, like, oh, this is what's keeping me stuck and holding me back, and this is literally what I'm gonna need to do to get on the other side. And then you get to make that decision for yourself. Not everybody's gonna show up and do what's required to have a multi-6 or 7-figure business. And you may or you may not. I don't really know. I don't know, right? But what I do know is the most powerful thing that you could do is tell yourself the truth and to see it for what it is and be like, okay, that's not anywhere near as bad as I thought it was going to be, but I did notice I was telling myself this story which was causing a lot of mischief. Or, wow, I was actually being entitled and naive, and that's more work than I thought it was going to be, and I'm ready to get my ass to work, because guess what? Being busy and working hard makes you happy. It's sitting around and not having purpose and not having a whole hell of a lot going on. And if you feel like you don't know what your purpose is, I'm going to drop that link below too, because tomorrow night I have a one-time training that I'm doing where you will have clarity on what your purpose is. You will know what your purpose is in life. So if you're feeling like you're a little bit lost in what the depth of your purpose is, what your deepest message is, that's for you. It's mandyperry.com/purpose. But really, if you're in a space where you're not getting results in your business that you want, and you want to be called to that next level, and you want to get really clear, like, this is where I'm at, this is where I want to go, this is the work in between, and you're wanting an arena to do that work, that's what the call is for with my team for the Wealthy Coach program. It's a 9-week program. You can see the results that all the girls have gotten on the page. Okay, and then purpose link is below too. And for today, if those aren't interesting to you, just for today, your homework would be to ask yourself, what am I not telling myself the truth about? And in what way have I been pretending that this is hard when I know it's not really? I'm like, what is the one thing that you know you could do consistently that would change everything? I ask myself this every single day. I don't do anything for my business doesn't require me to do. What is the one thing I can do to move the dial forward today? And that is why I have such a relaxing, easy life, because I don't get caught up doing a whole bunch of crap that was never necessary for my business to begin with. I do the power moves and the things that are required for my business, and I'm really in the habit of telling myself the truth and calling a spade a spade. So, is it possible for you, and you know, I went through a season where I thought I was being naive and I thought maybe everybody couldn't do what I did. And then I realized really fast that that was complete scarcity and bullshit. Of course you can do it. If I could do it, of course you can do it. And it was just a matter of shifting the perspective of what was available and what it took to get there. And then being willing to do things like hop on the calls like you'll do with my team, and then be like, okay, and are you brave enough to just look at where you're actually at? And just accept that and just surrender to be like, okay, this is where I'm actually at. I'm not going to pretend I'm at a place I'm not. I'm going to accept it. and then I'm going to own what's required for me to get to that next place, and that's it. If you're willing to do that and show up and do that, of course you can have it. Why like, it's so ridiculous to think that you couldn't have it. Of course you can have it. Of course you can have the result. Are you willing to be honest about where you're at and look at it and then accept the work that's going to be required for you to get to that next level? And by the way, the work doesn't feel like work. It feels like a really amazing, epic life. This right here, doing a live with you guys, is technically work for my business, does not feel like work. This just feels like connecting with a bunch of amazing people and sharing my heart and sharing the wisdom that I've learned and saying shit bluntly like I like to do, and knowing that it's going to serve some people and it's going to help them have clarity today, and some people are going to move forward and they're going to book calls and they're going to have even more clarity, and then some people are going to stay with us and join with us and stay with us for a long time, right? So like, that doesn't feel like work, and the work won't feel like work because it's purpose driven. Makes sense? All right, guys, I love you so big. Feel free to drop any comments below about things that come up for you around not believing that you can have the epic results that you see the people around you having, because I would love to speak to this, because I'm hearing so many other people speak to, hey, just accept where you're at, and basically that's it. Like, it may, you know, and I hear people telling other people it's gonna take 5 years before you make any money as a coach. What? If I had believed that crap when I started, then I would still be spinning my wheels not being where I'm at, because I just thought that's ridiculous. Why would you have to wait 5 years? Like, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous that it is absolutely ridiculous to believe that you couldn't make awesome, powerful results your first year. Either you're showing up in a way where you're positive you're gonna get the results, or you're showing up in a way where you're wondering, how do I know it's gonna work? Well, it's not going to work if you're showing up in a way that is planning for failure, and you're looking for proof that it's going to work before you're willing to do the work to make it work. So let's just do the fucking work and have all the epic results. You see what I'm saying? You deserve it. You deserve it. So that's the shift for today. All right, let me know any squirrely stuff that comes up below. If you're new to me, drop a comment below. Let me know where you're from. I love seeing where all the new audience is from and going snooping you out and seeing who's out there in the world. I really love doing that. All right, guys, have a fantastic day. The links are in the comments, and we'll see the rest of you in the call and in the October Wealthy Coach Group. Ow!